What's happening? What's happening with it? Welcome, welcome. Y'all already know what it is. You tuned in to another episode of Everything Boxing. There you go, talking that boxing again. What's happening with it? OTB, what it do in the building? I know I started late, so I don't know who is still in the building. But if y'all still in the building, jump in the comments. Make sure that you, hit the like button when you come in. And we definitely gonna cook today. We had some boxing this weekend that I'm gonna be cooking on. Uh-oh, I froze. The hell? Man. My bad, y'all. I think I'm back. If we good now? Y'all let me know how my sound is. Y'all let me know how the sound is. Is we getting an echo or anything like that? But like I was saying, we had some boxing this weekend, that went down, and we definitely gonna cook on that. I hear a lot of people talking about, Keyshawn Davis's performance. We definitely gonna cook on the Tszyu and Brian Mendoza. We gonna cook on, everybody accusing Devin Haney of, erasing the L, paying to get an L erased off his record, and just everything that's going on in boxing, man. So like I said, make sure when you come in, hit the like button. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. And we cooking, another week in boxing. We know we getting closer and closer to the big fights in November. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's really going to be going down in November, the big fights. And yeah, man, let me see who we got in the building. We got my man John Kramer with the 2 kilos on his neck. Specs in the building. Excuse me. Light skin business in the building. Big Dose 513 in the building. What's happening, Big Dose? Mr. Blue, what it do? Raul Garcia, what's happening with it? Donald Buffett, what's going down? Yeah, so a lot to talk about, a lot to talk about. And yeah, man, I hear a lot of people counting Jermell Charlo out. Like all of a sudden, everything that Jermell Charlo did throughout his whole career, now he ain't shit. So we definitely gonna cook on that and Tszyu, Brian Mendoza, hell of a fight, exciting fight, a fight that had me on the edge of my seat throughout the whole night, while I was watching it. And yeah. Never Backwards Podcast, salute. So yeah, like I said, y'all come in the building, smash on the like button, it's free. It don't cost y'all nothing to hit the like button. And let's cook. So first thing I want to cook on is, like I said, we had boxing. I'm not finna talk about that celebrity YouTube shit that took place. I did watch some of it. I ain't gonna lie, because like I said, it had me, like the promotion that they did, it made me want to tune in and see what they was going to do. But it was some, most of it was some BS. You feel me? Can't none of them dudes fight. But it is one cat on there that could really fight. Like real talk. And it's crazy because he called out Tank Davis, which was comedy. I think his name was Dean the Great. I believe that was his name. Lil dude, he really got talent. He can actually fight, and I think that he could probably go somewhere in the sport if he stuck to it and if he really stuck to it. Like he has talent. Kid is named Dean the Great, and he's trained by He's trained by Malik Scott. Malik Scott trains him. That kid, man, he's explosive. He's fast. He got a lot of talent. He's well above levels of the rest of them, the YouTubers and influencers. He got talent. But like I said, of course, I didn't pay for that shit. It was on. I watched some of it for free. It is what it is. Ain't really nothing to talk about. But he was the one that really stuck out to me that had talent. But moving along, man, we had the ESPN fight card. And who was on there to really talk about? Who besides Keyshawn Davis? I like that young heavyweight, Richard. What's his name? What's the heavyweight's name? Richard. The one I watched him throughout the Olympics, so I've been on top of him. He looked good. He looks good, but it just all depends how he's gonna look when they put him in and start stepping up his competition, because we all know that Top Rank has the best matchmakers. So, when you up and coming like that, they're able to put you in there with guys so you can look spectacular. Now, another thing about Top Rank, right? If they don't believe in you, they'll put you in there with some tough competition to get you up out of that contract real quick. And I think Duke Reagan, he's inching closer and closer to Top Rank dropping his ass. Because, I know he's going through a lot of things, outside of the ring, losing his father and things like that. But Duke Reagan he ain't never impressed me. And I know, I know my Ohio people, they probably was high on Duke Reagan because he's from Ohio, but he's not it. He's not it. Top Rank know that Duke Reagan ain't like that. And like I said, Top Rank, they'll make sure that they get you up out of there or drop you from that contract, because what they'll do is they'll set you up, put you in with an opponent that they don't think you can beat. And unless you get the job done, if you don't get the job done, they'll go ahead and release you from your contract. And I know a lot of y'all not familiar with the UFC, right? But the UFC is like that. They got up and coming guys, and you got to fight basically to prove to them that you deserve a contract. And Top Rank they work the same way when it comes to these up and coming young fighters. Yeah. Orthodox says, let's cook Canelo for taking steroids. I don't know what you're talking about, but what I will tell you is that, go ahead, and if you got a channel or make one, and then you can do all the cooking you want about Canelo taking steroids if that's what you want to do on your channel. But anyway, like I said, man, y'all smash the like button. Y'all see they not sending notifications out. We've been on here for almost 10 minutes. There's only 37 people in the building, so they're not sending my notifications out like usual. But make sure that you smash the like button, and share this. Let other people know that I'm on, because they don't know I'm on. And that's just what's been going down. But anyway, we still here cooking regardless. But like I said, man, as far as boxing, besides the Tszyu and Brian Mendoza fight, wasn't really too much exciting going on. You feel me? It wasn't really too much exciting going on for Saturday. None that was just gonna make boxing fans jump up out their seat. But let's talk about the ESPN card. Like I said, we had Richard Torres. He went out there and he did his thing again. Once again, they put him in with subpar competition, building his record up so he can look good. But he's doing his job, and he's getting all of these guys out of there like, he's supposed to. Let's not get it twisted. Top Rank, these up and coming fighters, they always gonna put you in the ring with fighters to make you look good. But some of these fighters, they not doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are bust. And Richard Torres, he looked like that he gonna be a pretty solid heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him. Another thing I like about Top Rank is the young fighters. They're going to make sure that you stay active. They have these young fighters fighting like every 3 months, sometimes even more than that. And then Duke Reagan, like I said, I mean, I just cooked on him a little bit. He's not impressive. I don't think he's going to be a Top Rank fighter for too long because he's inching closer and closer to taking the L. Now, that fight was a split decision this weekend, and a lot of those rounds was close. Duke Reagan got dropped. He almost got knocked out. Duke Reagan was like that close to getting knocked out. But he showed that, he's tough and he was able to get up off the canvas and he was able to survive, But to me, and I don't want to sound negative about him, but his future don't look too bright. You know what I'm saying? His future don't look too bright. And this is not the first time that I've seen Duke Reagan almost take an L very early on in his career. Some guys are good amateurs and they get to the professional ranks and they just can't cut it. And he looked like he probably might be one of them. He got some skills, but it's just he don't have power like that. He tough. But he just doesn't have anything that shows me that he gonna stick out as a professional. Jermaine Harvey in that super chat. Salute to you, brother. Salute. He says, listen to ETB while watching the Rangers game. Okay. Yeah, man. I didn't even know it was a game on this early. I know Cowboys play tonight, so I'm gonna be watching them with Cowboys my team, but Dak Prescott, he's sorry as hell. Jerry Jones, he needs to go somewhere and croak because he don't know what the hell he doing. The organization is just some shit, if you ask me. Now, we got some talent. We got a few talented players, like Tony Pollard, a hell of a player. CD Lamb, hell of a player. I like Michael Gallup. I think he pretty good talent. Who else? Of course, Michael Parsons, hell of a player. So, you know what I'm saying? We got some talent on the team. But then, when you got a few players that's real talented with just a trash organization, because that's what it is. I mean, I don't know when people just gonna keep it a buck and just, realize that Dallas, just because they are, the most talked about team in America and probably had the most money, people got to keep it real and just realize that the organization is trash. Jerry Jones don't want to step down from being a GM. He don't know what the fuck he doing. Ever since he took over the organization, as far as being the GM, we ain't been shit. Like, come on, man. Every year is, oh, man, Super Bowl, Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl this year. And we ain't won the Super Bowl since 95, 96 season. Come on. We ain't even made it to the NFC Championship. We talking about, 28 years? So, yeah. But anyway, don't let me get the start on they sorry ass and with they sorry ass quarterback. J.A. Dixon, what's happening with it? But moving along, man. Y'all smash on the like button. Smash on the like button. Big Doe says, at least your team has won some Super Bowls, famo. My team ain't even done that. We got close, but no cigar. I mean, bro, but we're talking about shit from 28 years ago. Like, let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? I think I was a freshman in high school the last time we won, even went to a Super Bowl. Like, bro, if I was a teenage kid, something's wrong. So that shit we still riding off of what we did 30 years ago. Oh man, when your team win a Super Bowl? Miss me with that shit. Like, at some point, we gotta let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? At some point, we gotta let that shit go. But anyway, Big Dog Willie in the building. in that super chat says, salute Bill Captain American Haney for capping so beautifully yesterday on Boxing Voice. He said the skill level of his capping was amazing. Real talk, man. Hey, it's just if y'all didn't watch the video that I put out on Bill Haney, right? He was on the Boxing Voice and someone called in and nobody not called in. Somebody put a super chat. And, you know, they got to read the super chats. And the super chat said, Dad, hey, Dad, he's figured this out, Dad. And, you know, so they asked Bill, like, to elaborate on that. What was going down in that moment? Like, you know, what was going on? And, you know, Bill Haney, like he does, he know how to get around a question, take you around the block. It was just funny. Y'all just got to check out Bill Haney's response that he gave when they asked him that question. But, man, salute to Bill. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't hate it. For real, like, I don't. Like, Bill Haney, to me, I understand the game, right? I understand the game, and he going to play the game. Real talk. He going to play the game, and he plays the game very, very well because he's built a cult-like following for Devin Haney. Real talk. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's supposed to do. So, like, a lot of people take it personal and get mad, and we know that Bill Haney be lying about a lot of shit, but I mean, he's doing his job. At the end of the day, he's doing his job for his son. And he's doing a very, very, very good job at it. So I can't hate Bill, man, for doing what he's doing as a father, you know, for his son and as a businessman. It works. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's keep it a buck. A couple years ago, Devin Haney had the same talent that he got now. Right? He has the same talent. He's had that talent, but wasn't nobody talking about him like that. If anybody was talking about Devin Haney a few years ago, it was how boring he was and don't nobody want to watch him and all of that. You know, you had your certain platforms that was riding for Haney like that, but the core fans hadn't caught on yet. Now, I mean, shit. You can't go nowhere on no platform and say nothing about Devin Haney without people, you know, jumping on your neck or look. I was watching the Boxing Voice this morning, and the dude called in this morning and he was like, Lord Devin Haney this and Lord Devin Haney this, and everybody just be hating on Lord Devin Haney. And Lord Devin Haney is the best fighter in all of boxing. And it was a young cat that was saying this shit. This wasn't no older cat just, you know, giving props to the young man. This is a young cat. And it was Lord Devin Haney. And Lord, I said, oh, man, here we go with this shit. This man is calling that man Lord. So I said, yeah, Bill Haney has done his job. Real talk. So I can't hate it. It's the same. It's the same. Like Tank Davis got them type of fans. You know what I'm talking about? Tank Davis got those type of fans too. Now, I ain't gonna come on here and act like that Tank or his people be telling lies like, you know, Devin and Bill do. You feel me? I ain't gonna tell you that Tank and his people be telling lies and pushing stories and narratives like Devin and Bill do. But he have diehard fans that's gonna ride for him like that too. The only one that really don't have it when you talk about out of those three is Shakur, you know what I'm saying? Because Shakur don't have it yet. You know, Shakur, I think he just too real for the people. You know what I'm saying? People don't like the way that he come out because he just too trill. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to tell y'all like this. You're going to see a change. Because ain't nobody whooping Shakur. And if he do get beat, it ain't going to be for a long, long time. And people gonna start riding the Shakur train and act like that they was never hating on him. So it just like that they doing Devin Haney now. You know what I'm saying? Just like that they doing Devin Haney now. People just say a lot of the same people that wasn't riding with Devin, that was hating on Devin, now they riding with him. So I mean, it'll come around. You feel me? It'll come around. Once you become that nigga, then everybody like to forget that they was hating on you and was, counting you out and everything. So it's gonna come. Jermaine Wood says the Boxing Voices Pro Haney channel. Oh, for sure, because they have a personal relationship outside of boxing with Devin and Bill Haney. Like, you know what I'm saying? They actually friends and close outside of boxing. So it's more than just boxing with the Boxing Voice, my man Danny Alvarez and Ness, you know what I'm saying? It's more than boxing with them two when it comes to the Haneys. And I know personally that Danny has a very close relationship with Devin Haney outside of boxing and Bill Haney. So, I mean, it is what it is. Just like some of these other channels, they got personal relationships with Devin and Bill Haney. So they going to ride with Devin and Bill. And I understand that. I don't have no problem with that. It's just when you start going out of your way, right, to shit on other fighters that have, maybe have a feud going with Devin because this is boxing. But then when you got other channels that implement into that and basically just preach hate and preach people that's watching them to tear down another fighter that might be, having a feud with Devin Haney. Like that shit is like all that shit is that shit weak to me. Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, all these fighters, they are fighters. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get into it with each other. They gonna have feuds. That's what make us want to watch this shit. You feel me? So ride with your fighter. You know what I'm saying? That you supposed to, especially if you got a personal relationship. But all that other extra shit, you know what I'm saying, that you're doing just to tear down other fighters and tell lies about them and run with narratives, because people, they're gonna start believing that shit. They're gonna jump on that shit. A lot of people don't think for themselves anyway. And then also, you got fans that come to us to hear news that's breaking and certain shit. So, they know what they be doing, man. Like, they know what they be doing. And we all peep that, whether you want to admit it or not. But anyway, moving along, man. Keyshawn Davis, right? Keyshawn Davis, he another one that a lot of people just don't like. Because Keyshawn Davis, he run his mouth a lot. He talk a lot. He's energetic. He's charismatic, right? And he talk a lot of shit. But the thing is that I was telling people before about Keyshawn Davis is he gets it, right? He gets it. He gets what he's supposed to do to get people to talking. He knows how to promote a fight. He knows how to promote himself. And he knows how to either get under your skin in a good way or a bad way. But just as long as he's getting under your skin, he doing something right. Right? Because I hear a lot of people, oh, man, fuck Keyshawn Davis. Man, Keyshawn ain't this. Well, he got y'all talking. And when he fight, y'all going to watch him because he got under your skin some type of way, right? Now, as far as Keyshawn Davis, man, a lot of people talking about his performance. Now, when I came on here, I believe it was Friday, I did the show. And I told people, I said, I went back and I watched that fighter that Keyshawn is fighting. And I said, man, he pretty good. I think his name is Albright, right? I said, Albright is pretty good. He can fight. He ain't no pushover, right? And I picked Keyshawn to go the distance with him. I didn't pick Keyshawn to stop him. Now, of course, people gonna want to see Keyshawn or see if he can stop every fighter that he get in the ring with because he talks shit. And I mean, that's expected, right? You talk that shit like that, people gonna want to see if you could back it up with devastating performances and knockouts and things like that. So I understand that, right? But he went in there and, to me, right, he was putting on a pretty good performance. He was basically pitching a shutout, but then one thing about Keyshawn, he don't know how to close the show. You know what I'm saying? He he don't know how to close the show, and he ended up getting caught. He ended up getting caught with a solid punch. He was trying to clown on the ropes and shit, and he ended up getting caught. And man, when he got caught, I was like, oh shit, he hurt. But he bounced back like that. So he did show that he got a chin. He showed that he got a chin because, he got caught with a solid punch that was hard enough to knock most guys out or at least down. And he came right back, man. So he got a solid chin, He got a real solid chin. And y'all got to understand that Keyshawn, what was that, like his 9th fight? So he's still building. He's still getting better. And I think that Keyshawn got a bright future ahead of him. A lot of people they want to talk shit, because he talk a lot of shit. So they want to see him fail because he get under their skin and they don't like him. But I think Keyshawn, man, he got a bright future ahead of him, but he got to continue to learn. You know what I'm saying? He got to continue to learn. He got to continue to get better. And we're going to see. He said that he's supposed to be fighting Jose Pedraza in December. So we're going to be able to see him right back in the ring in a couple months. And let's see what he does against Jose Pedraza, because I'm going to tell you something about these, fighters that's supposed to be very talented. What you'll see is in a fight like a Jose Pedraza, a big step-up fight, his first step-up fight, it's either going to make him or break him, right? And so fighters that really, really have it in them, they're able to rise to the occasion and put on the best performances of their career when they have step-up fights. So, we really going to see what Keyshawn is made of. Just like my man Richardson Hitchens, right? He went in there against Zepeda and he put on a shutout. And that was supposed to be a step-up fight for him. So let's see if Keyshawn can do the same thing if he fights Jose Pedraza in December. Because we know that Jose Pedraza, man, Pedraza, he's solid. Like I said, he's not like, oh my God, Jose Pedraza's a monster, but he's a solid fighter. Cassandra Mason in the building. What's going on with it, Cassandra? What's going on with it, Queen? Big Dose. He says he has hands too. He has hands too, man. Speed, power, accuracy was on point, and he showed that he has a good chin. Yeah, man, for sure. But y'all smash the like button. Y'all smash on the like button. Because like I said, man, they not sending out my notifications at all like that. Most people don't even know I'm on here. You can see we only got 59 people in the building, but make sure that you continue to smash the like button and share this if you get a chance to. Trayshawn Edwards, what's happening with it? Just came in the building. Crush the Legend, what's happening with it? What's going down with it? But like I said, man, I'm not finna just dog Keyshawn Davis out. He's still young. He's only 24 years old. Everybody acting like that because he talks shit. All of a sudden, he's supposed to be on motherfucking Tank Davis level and Shakur Stevenson's level. Like, man only got about 9 fights, if that. Like chill. You know what I'm saying? Y'all love to start talking shit and tearing down fighters just because, they didn't get a knockout or some shit. That dude that he was fighting was not no bum at all. He got 10 fights. So Keyshawn is 10-0 with 6 KOs. So yeah, man, let's see what he do when he come back. You feel me? Let's see what he do when he come back. And I'm gonna stay tuned. Like I said, man, before we start tearing down these fighters, at least let him take an L before we start saying he ain't shit and he ain't this and he ain't that. He's a solid fighter. I think Keyshawn got a bright future, and he's still learning. And he got some of the best work that he's able to work with, whenever he go to the gym. He working with Shakur Stevenson all the time. He working with Bud Crawford and you know. So, man, I like the performance, you know. He showed that he was able to go in there against a good fighter that was in there to win, because Albright wasn't in there to just come lay down as an opponent. He was in there to win, and he showed it. And Keyshawn was able to make adjustments and everything. But like I said, he learned that you can't let your guard down. You can't do all that clowning, because he did get hit with a solid shot. But like Big Doe said, he showed that he got a solid chin. Jermaine Wood says, who could be his rival at 35? I mean, we already know. We already know who that is. Ray Jackson, what's happening with it? Man, Ray Jackson, you a motherfucker over there on that Twitter, boy. Hey, Ray, keep on dropping your picks. One thing that Ray Jackson let me know is whoever Ray pick, go against whoever he picking. But salute to Ray, man. Salute Ray be giving them hell over there on that Twitter. Hey, but man, I think that Frank Martin is his rival. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how that's gonna go, because you got Frank Martin over there with the PBC, and then you got Keyshawn with Top Rank, right? I think that's a rival. You know what I'm talking about? Because I mean, Frank Martin definitely ain't Shakur's rival, because he showed he showed clearly he don't want no smoke with Shakur, which is not a dumb move. It ain't a dumb move that he don't want to take no L this early in his career. But I told y'all, see, y'all be wanting to give me my credit, right? But I was the one, when everybody was talking about that fight was going to happen, I was the one that told y'all that Frank wasn't going to take that fight. I said, oh, yeah, he'll pull out. That fight ain't going to happen. And I kept telling everybody, that fight ain't going to happen. He'll pull out. And then when they came and announced the fight with Shakur Stevenson, they said that it was set and the date was already ready and everything was signed, sealed, and delivered, I came on here and I apologized to everybody. And I was like, shit, I didn't think the fight was going to happen, but hey, it's going down, y'all. And they tricked me. These motherfuckers tricked me. You feel me? They got me. So I had to go and say, okay, well, I was right the first time when I said it wasn't going to happen. So, you know, I be on point most of the time. I be on point. Not all the time, but most of the time I be on point. Meaty Riley, what's good? Man, I'm going to keep it 100. I don't know how I feel about saying your screen name, dog. Man, you're going to have to you're going to have to change the meaty out your screen name, bro. But salute to you, man. That shit just sound weird, man. I got to say that screen name and shit. I'm going to just call you Riley. I'm going to just say Riley. After that performance from Keyshawn, he needs to keep Kid Austin Schofield name out his mouth. You tripping now about that. You tripping. Because I done seen Kid Austin put on a couple shit performances. Real talk. You must ain't seen Kid Austin all his fights. Because I done seen that man put on a couple lackluster performances. Real talk. Kid Austin's not that good. I don't know what you've been watching, my guy, but I've seen him put on a couple performances where he didn't look too good to me at all. So, I think Keyshawn, I think it would be a good fight, you know what I'm saying? Because Kid Austin is good. I mean, he's tough, right? He's tough, but he's not on the level of Keyshawn Davis skill-wise. He's not. And not Kid Austin, dog. I think Frank Martin would be a much tougher fight for Keyshawn Davis than the Kid Austin. Kid Austin still got a whole lot to work on. He ain't him yet. He not it. Now, he got some, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's tough. He tough, but he's not it. Big Doe says, if Frank didn't want no smoke with Shakur, then Shakur didn't want no smoke with Devin. Facts. That's not facts. I don't even know why you put facts behind that. That shit was just ignorance. That shit was ignorance. Like you come on, you gotta be smarter than that, Big Dose. Like I know you smarter than that. Like that shit is just ignorant for you to even say that shit in the chat, bro. Frank was getting offered over 4 times the amount that he's ever made in his career and a title shot, and Frank ain't never been a champion in the sport of boxing. Ever. Frank ain't never been a champion in the sport of boxing. He ain't never held nobody title in no weight class. Also, Frank was getting offered $1 million, and the most that Frank had ever made was like $200,000 before, and he turned the fight down. So how are you comparing that to Shakur and Devin Haney, saying that Shakur ducked Devin when Shakur petitioned for Devin to fight him or either vacate? Shakur petitioned for Devin Haney to fight him or vacate, and Devin Haney decided that he was going to move up to 140 and vacate, basically. Like, how are you even comparing the two? Like, it makes no sense. Shakur Stevenson, a fighter that's been a champion in not only one, but 2 different weight divisions and was a unified champion at 130. Like, how are you even comparing it? Like, bro, stop with the nonsense. Come on, Big Dose. Don't fuck up the show with saying dumb shit. A1 Hoops on in the building. What's happening with it? Beyond the ring with Nonito and Rachel. Salute to Nonito, Donaire, and Rachel. Come on, dog. Let's not do that, man. Let's not do that. But anyway, and let's not make this a Devin Haney and Shakur, because I've cooked you on this. I've cooked you on this topic more times than I can count. And we off of that now. Let's move on. Shakur's fighting somebody else. Devin fights somebody else, and we just gonna leave it at that. And Frank Martin, we don't know what he's doing, but we know that Frank Martin ducked the fight. Like, what else do you want to call it? You know what I'm saying? What else do you want to call it, bro? Ain't nothing else to call it. Like, come on, bro. Let's stop with the nonsense. But anyway, moving along. Now let's talk about the Tszyu. Let's talk about the Tszyu and Brian Mendoza fight, man. Nonito and Rachel, we're gonna talk about that. I still haven't talked about that. So I'm going to talk about the Devin Haney and the Mexico situation after this. So that's the next topic I'm going to cook on after I cook on this Tszyu and Brian Mendoza situation, right? Now, that fight that happened this weekend. Great fight, man. Hats off to both fighters. Like I said earlier, it was a fight that had me on the edge of my seat throughout the whole fight, because Tszyu has shown that he has power and he can get you up out of there at any given time. And Brian Mendoza has shown you that he got one punch power and he can get you up out of there with one punch at any time, right? So, man, I was going back and forth with who I was picking to win the fight. But ultimately, you know what I'm saying, when I was going back and forth with my cousin, I told him that I got Tszyu winning the fight. I said, because I believe that Tszyu is the more all-around skilled fighter, right? And so that's why I picked Tszyu, because I felt that he was a more all-around skilled fighter, and I picked him to win the fight, right? But, man, hell of a fight. Brian Mendoza, man, he had a very good game plan, right? And he exposed some things in Tszyu, because what I noticed in that fight is Tszyu, he can't fight off the back foot. Tszyu, he needs to be stationary, right? And he needs you to be stationary and able to get his shit off, right? So what I noticed is when Brian Mendoza was using lateral movement and punching at the same time, Tszyu, he couldn't pull the trigger. He had to keep his hands in his pockets, right? Because he was confused. When Brian Mendoza was doing all that awkward movement and moving side to side and punching while he was moving, he was performing very well. Like, he was winning some of them rounds against Tszyu because, like I said, Tim, he didn't know what to do when Brian was giving him that lateral movement and punching at the same time. See, I didn't know that Brian Mendoza had that in him, right? I didn't know that, Brian, because, you know, we seen Brian Mendoza losing fights and coming back, you know, with one big shot. But I didn't know that Brian Mendoza could actually, you know, give lateral movement and punch at the same time, because a lot of fighters can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Man, hey, cut the Shakur shit out, right? We're not talking about Shakur and Devin Haney. Leave that shit alone. Like, stop. Don't fuck up the chat with that Shakur shit, man. We didn't talk with the Shakur and Devin Haney shit. We didn't talk about that for too long. We're not talking about that now. Get off of that shit, man. Let's just leave that shit alone. I'm not finna let y'all fuck up the show, you know what I'm saying, talking about Devin and Shakur, man. We talked about that shit for months. Move off of that. When they fight, we'll see, like I said. But anyway, I didn't think that Brian Mendoza could do all of that. And he was doing well while he was able to keep that up. But, you know what I'm saying, he was doing well. But as the fight wore on, of course, Brian Mendoza, he started to slow down with the movement. And when he slowed down with the movement, he was Tszyu was able to cut off the ring, and the pressure, right? The relentless pressure that Tszyu was able to put on Mendoza, it took a toll on Mendoza. One thing that I noticed about Tszyu is that although, you know, Mendoza was catching him with shots and confusing him at times, he never showed it. He never showed any frustration in his face. His body language never showed any frustration, and he stayed calm, and he continued to stick with his game plan. He continued to stick with his game plan. He continued to apply pressure. He continued to, you know, go to the body, go to the head, and it worked for him. It worked for him, man. It really worked for him. And that's one thing that I saw during the fight. I said, Tszyu was staying very calm. He's staying very calm and he's staying very focused, right? And that's a big part of, that's a big attribute in a fighter, when you can stay calm and focused, even though things might not be going your way. But when you can stick to the game plan and continue to apply pressure, because he is a pressure fighter, right? And eventually he broke Brian Mendoza down. And Tszyu, whatever y'all talking about in the motherfucking chat with that bullshit that he's a trash fighter, he definitely not a trash fighter. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not a trash fighter. He's a solid fighter. He's a dangerous fighter. But does he have flaws? Yeah, he has flaws. But it's going to take a very, very good fighter to expose those flaws. And we ain't seen a fighter that was able to expose those flaws and come out with the W yet. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I didn't like is Tszyu laid off the gas the last round. And you can't afford to do that in the sport of boxing, because, yeah, he did win the fight. He won the fight. But he wasn't winning enough to lay off the gas, right? And you never, in boxing, you're never winning enough to lay off the gas, because we seen robberies happen. Now, yeah, he was probably comfortable because he was over there fighting in Australia and he knew that he wasn't going to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? He knew he wasn't going to get robbed in his hometown. But now he going to be fighting in America, right? He says that he's not going to be fighting in Australia no more. He coming to America for good now. He wants to be able to headline the Las Vegas, and he can't do that over here because you'll fuck around and get robbed. So, man, and Brian Mendoza, man, he was able to show me, man, that he is a solid fighter. He can make adjustments, right? Because like I said, I didn't know that he had all that lateral movement and was able to punch on the move like he was able to do. I didn't really know that he had that in him. But Brian Mendoza, man, he's a solid fighter, and he's tough as hell. He's tough as hell. Brian Mendoza is tough because them shots that he got hit with by Tszyu, when Tszyu was hitting him with shots that was halfway killing him, I don't know how he, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how he took the punishment that he took. You know what I'm saying? He's tough as hell, man. Like I said, it's very few fighters in the sport of boxing that got a chin like Brian Mendoza does. But that's a positive and a negative all in the same, all at the same time, because you don't like to see fighters take punishment like that, especially throughout, over time throughout their career, because a lot of times it don't end well, right? It doesn't end well. But when you do have a chin like that, you stay dangerous all 12 rounds. And you can pull out a win at any time. Now, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. I thought the referee was going to stop that fight on several different occasions, because if there's any fight that could have got stopped, it was that fight. And maybe the ref should have stopped that fight on a couple of different occasions. But it's like, to me, I ain't going to lie. It's like they was fighting over there in the UK. And I believe that if that fight had took place in the US, that fight would have got stopped. They would have stopped the fight early, and yeah, man, I think the ref would have stopped it. And so over there in Australia, I believe maybe they operate different. Maybe it's more of a blood sport over there. You know what I'm saying? Gladiator sport, like boxing used to be. Because let's keep it 100. One thing that I've noticed about boxing now that's different than what it used to be. Back in the day, a fighter would get beat the fuck up on the ropes, and like you had to really drop a fighter and lay them out to get a knockout back in the day, right? Not even, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about in the 90s, earlier in the 2000s, all the way up until like these past 10 years, maybe even shorter than that. Like these refs, as soon as they see a fighter in any trouble, they stop it. Like they don't give a fighter no chance to be able to take a beating and come back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Kirk McCall, you really had to make somebody quick. You really had to be getting beat up real, real bad to get a stoppage. Now, the first chance ref sees that a fighter is just getting, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a lot of times the ref stopping the fight and the fighters don't even land a punch on the opponent. They just throw a whole bunch of punches that's getting blocked, but the referee is running there and stop it. So maybe they don't do that over there in Australia. Because like I said, if that fight took place over here in America, that fight would have got stopped. You know what I'm saying? So Brian Mendoza was given every chance he could to go out there and, produce a devastating knockout after being beat down. They gave him that chance, which, like I said, I don't think he would have got that chance over here in the U.S. He wouldn't have got that chance in the U.S. That fight would have got stopped. But I'm glad that it didn't get stopped. Y'all know why? Because I picked Tszyu to win the fight on points. Yeah. Them odds was very good for Tszyu to win on points. So I picked him to win on points. So good for me that it didn't get stopped. But I ain't gonna lie, I thought that fight was gonna get stopped. But yeah. Bruce Gas, what's happening with it? What it do? Salute to the OG Bruce Gas in the building. Brian Francis says Diego would have got stopped by Castillo on today's boxing. Yeah, today boxing is boxing reminds me of football now because it's much softer than it used to be. You know what I'm saying? You know how football, you can't You can't even make a hard hit on a player now without getting a personal foul called. Like, football is just turned into some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? They might as well put flags on these men and shit. They might as well turn the NFL into flag football. And a lot of times that's how I feel about boxing. Boxing ain't no gladiator sport like that no more. Yeah, you do see fighters get knocked out cold and hurt, but sometimes, a lot of times, the way they be stopping these fights immaturely and don't give a fighter a chance to take a beating and come back, like that's one of the things that was always great about the sport of boxing, because it was 12 rounds or 10 rounds, and you could never count certain fighters out because they could be getting the shit beat out of them, bloody, eyes cut open, but they still was given a chance to come back. And we've seen some, you know what I'm saying, great comebacks over the years in the sport of boxing. We've seen great comebacks. We don't see that no more in today's boxing. We don't see a fighter getting beat up and bloody, you know what I'm saying, and you thought the fighter was knocked out and then they come back and get a knockout. You don't see things like that because the ref, they don't give you a chance to witness things like that because the way that they run the sport of boxing now. They stopping these fights hella early. Exactly. That was another thing. I didn't get to that point, Samuel Washington, but that was another thing that I was thinking about, right? It was either that they run it different over there in Australia or they wanted Tszyu to get a devastating knockout, right? And that's another thing I said. I said maybe they just want Tszyu to knock this man out cold because nobody has ever done it, right? And it was going to be able to boost. It was going to be able to boost Tszyu, right? He had got the knockout. It was going to boost him over there in Australia. So I was like, maybe they wanted that. Maybe they wanted to see him get a devastating knockout, right? But you know, as far as that went, you know, salute to Tszyu, man. And Tszyu, he's charismatic, right? He get on the mic, he talks shit. I like that. I like that he talks shit. And he called out Jermell Charlo once again. And another thing that I like, right? He's not content with just getting a belt, right? They gave him Jermell Charlo's belt, but he says that he don't feel like he's a champion until he beats Jermell Charlo. So I like that from Tszyu. He ain't running around and like, oh, well, you know, they gave me the belt and now I can ignore fighting Jermell Charlo. No, he wants the smoke. He's still calling for the Charlo fight. You feel me? So I like that. You only can see, it's funny, man. Y'all talk too much of shit. For what? Like, why y'all talking shit about Tszyu? He wants the smoke. Now, another thing I see is I've seen a boxing channel do a poll on who would win between Tszyu and Jermell Charlo, right? And it was like 65% of the people, they picked Tszyu to beat Jermell Charlo. And I'm starting to notice that now everybody's acting like that Charlo is weak, right? Everybody acting like all of a sudden that Jermell Charlo ain't shit. He moved up and he got beat by Canelo Alvarez, who is one of the top pound-for-pound fighters in all of boxing. And he moved up 2 weight divisions. Why is everybody trying to act like now all of a sudden Jermell Charlo ain't never going to be the same? Jermell Charlo ain't shit. Jermell Charlo is still the best fighter at 154. Did y'all forget everything that he did before he moved up and fought Canelo? Like, boxing fans is just so fucking fickle, man. Y'all is crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden now fuck Jermell, he ain't shit. Man, he got beat by Canelo. Man, he ain't even come close to beating Canelo. He wasn't supposed to, and I told y'all that. Yeah, Regis was in a car wreck, and I'll talk about that, but he didn't get hurt. So that's the good thing. He didn't get hurt, and he went live, and he talked about it himself. So shout out to Regis Program, and I'm going to cook on that also. But, man, y'all got to stop with the bullshit, man. Y'all be wanting to see these fighters do things like this, which I didn't never want to see Jermell Charlo fight Canelo Alvarez. I never wanted to see this shit in the first place. And I kept stressing to everybody that Jermell, he wasn't going to win. He was going to get his ass beat. But come on, man. Like, y'all got to stop with the bullshit. Jermell Charlo, into proving different, he is the best fighter at 154. And once again, salute to Tszyu for saying this. Tszyu said it. He said Jermell is the best fighter at 154. But I want to be the fighter to come and prove to everybody when I dethrone him that I'm the best fighter at 154. So why y'all shitting on Tszyu? Like, I already seen a couple of y'all in here in the chat talking about Tszyu is trash and he ain't this and he not trash. He's a dangerous fucking fighter, and Charlo better take him serious. But I do have Charlo beating Tszyu. Tszyu. I do have Charlo beating him because Charlo can do the things that he needs to beat Tszyu. I believe that Charlo is going to come into the fight a lot more confident because he went 12 rounds with Canelo. He felt Canelo's power, and Tszyu, although he can crack and he's dangerous, but he's not punching like Canelo. He don't have the skill set that Canelo does. And he fighting Jermell Charlo in Charlo's weight division. Charlo's a 154 pounder. Charlo, he's shown that, man, he has excellent lateral movement. He can punch, right, while on the move, right? What Brian Mendoza was doing and giving Tszyu problems with, Charlo can do it, but he's a better fighter than Brian Mendoza. And he can do everything that Brian Mendoza was doing much better. And Charlo can crack. Yeah, he might not have power at 168 like that, but believe me, at 154, Charlo can crack. And he'll knock anybody out at 154. So Tszyu and Jermell Charlo, man, I think it's a hell of a fight. And I see a lot of people, right? And this shit is starting to bother me, right? It's starting to bother me. I see a lot of people just automatically now, they're talking about Tszyu and Terrence Crawford next. Terrence Crawford and Tszyu. Stop with this fucking Terrence Crawford shit. Terrence Crawford has done nothing in the division to be able to skip over Jermell Charlo if he want to come and get his strap back. Jermell Charlo never lost. He never lost them titles. They stripped him of the titles. Stop trying to put fucking Terrence Crawford in every picture. And you're not holding Terrence Crawford feet to the fire to do what the fuck he said he was going to do and give Errol Spence a rematch at 154. Like, why are y'all running around now? Now we want to see Tszyu and Terrence Crawford. Now Terrence Crawford going to beat the shit out of Tszyu. Like, stop the bullshit, man. Stop just trying to put Terrence Crawford in every fucking situation just because he went out there and he beat one fighter. He beat Errol Spence. Now y'all want to put him up against David Benavidez if David Benavidez beat Boo Boo Andrade. How about that? How about y'all put Terrence Crawford in there against David Benavidez since y'all want to see Terrence Crawford move up and fight everybody? How about that? But anyway, man, as far as Jermell Charlo, he didn't talk about wanting to fight Tszyu next. He did talk about wanting to fight Bud Crawford, but Bud Crawford don't want the smoke. He said he's not going to fight Jermell Charlo. So I believe the next fight for Charlo should be Tszyu. But also, right, the problem is that these sanctioning bodies, they fucking with Charlo. Now another sanctioning body has came up and they saying that he has another mandatory, and they're gonna strip him of the title if he don't fight him. So this is the story, right, that just came out. The IBF have now officially ordered Jermell Charlo to defend his WBA, WBC, and IBF super welterweight world titles versus Bakram, whoever the fuck this dude is. Bakram, I don't know how to say his last name. Murtazalev. Bakram Murtazalev. I've never heard of this dude. Parties have 30 days until November the 9th to agree to a deal, then a purse bid. That's bullshit. So how's the IBF gonna order Jermell Charlo to defend all of his belts against this somebody that ain't nobody never heard of before? I don't know who the fuck this dude is, but it's okay for Canelo Alvarez to do whatever the fuck he want, but Jermell Charlo get the belts, and now all these sanctioning bodies popping up out of the woodworks talking about they gonna strip him or he gotta fight. Like, come on, man. Who the fuck is this dude? Like, who is this dude? I never heard of him. What? And see, it's funny, right? Because when they came out with these, with this, even when the WBC came out with the franchise, right? When they came out with the franchise shit, right? They said, well, we're coming out with the franchise belt, so the big name champions, they don't have to get, ordered to fight, fighters like this guy that nobody never heard of when there's other big fights on the table, right? So basically, these guys that's all of a sudden number one ranked, or in these sanctioning bodies, but you never seen them fight or you never heard of them, and then you go to their box rec and they fought nothing but foreigner fighters. How is this dude the number one ranked in the IBF? How is he the number one ranked in the IBF? What fighters have he beat? You know what I'm saying? Who has he beat? Has he beat a Brian Castano? Has he beat a motherfucking Erickson Lubin? Has he beat a Lara? I mean, who the fuck has he beat? Like, who has he fought and beat to be the number one on any sanctioning body? That's the problem with fight. That's the problem with boxers. With boxing, my bad. That's the problem with boxing. You got these dudes, they'll pop up and they'll be the number one, but it's like, who did they beat? You got all these other fighters that been putting in work. Has he beat a Ramos? Like, who the fuck has he beat? Has he beat a Fundora? Has he beat a Mendoza? Has he beat a Tszyu? Like, who has he fought and beat? But now you telling me that I got to fight this guy that nobody knows when I got much bigger fights in my weight division that I can fight? And now y'all talking about y'all going to strip me of all these titles if I don't fight this dude? Like, it's bullshit. But hopefully, Charlo can pay this guy off. You know what I'm saying? Make him sit the fuck down somewhere and make a fight with Tszyu if Terrence Crawford don't want to fight. That's why these fighters are coming out more and more talking about how the belts don't matter because of shit like this. But my bad, man, A1 Hoop Zone, what it do? In that super chat, man, I appreciate you coming through supporting the channel. He says, man, fuck what they saying. Go back to watch Mel versus Canelo. Mel showed some good damn defense in that fight, which is a different element to his game. We all know Mel can crack. Well, I said that before. You know what I'm saying? I said that when I first broke down the fight after it happened. I said, Mel showed me that his defensive skills, is on another level. He showed very good defensive skills in that fight. So, yeah, Dank Father, that's what be going down, Dank Father, is you get these promoters, they'll pay the president of the sanction body to move them through the ranks, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you look up and they number one out of nowhere. But you don't know nobody that they fought. You don't even know nobody that they fought that's not a foreigner. You feel me? So, it's fucked up. But man, it's just crazy, man. And salute once again to my brother A1. So let me cook on this situation right before we wrap it up. Make sure that y'all hit the like button. I know it's a lot of people in the building that haven't hit the like button. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people in here that ain't hit the like button. So do me a favor, smash the like button. You know what I'm saying? Hit my like button for me. Help the channel, help other people be able to see that I am on live because they don't send my notifications out like that. So smash the like button. But let's cook on this Devin Haney situation where now Rolly Romero, he came out. You know what I'm saying? Rolly Romero, he came out and he made a claim that he's saying this has been known throughout the boxing gyms and all that for a while, and other people now, all of a sudden, other people coming out like, oh yeah, we've been knowing this. This been the story for a long time about Devin Haney. And Rolly is claiming that Devin took an L over in Mexico and Bill Haney paid whoever off to be able to take that L off of Devin Haney's record, right? So they're saying that he lost in Mexico with a lot of fights that go on in Mexico. We don't know nothing about him. We don't never see him. You know what I'm saying? Unless you in the arena, you're the only one that know about it, right? And so they're saying that one of his fights that he took an L, but it's not on his record because Bill Haney paid to get it off of his record, right? And a lot of people making a big deal about this. This is big news. And like, to me, I'm going to just keep it a buck with y'all. Y'all know I always keep it 100. Like, to me, like, I'm like, who cares? Like, I really don't, like, I don't know if it happened or not, right? I don't know if it happened or not, but I really don't give a fuck. Like, real talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen ESPN right in front of my eyes take away fucking Lomachenko's L on national TV on ESPN and act like Lomachenko had never lost. I've seen that happen. Everybody on here seen that happen. So if Devin Haney as a kid, as a 17 or 18-year-old kid, you know what I'm saying, lost a fight in Mexico, if it happened, I don't know if it happened, man. I don't know. Like, I can't really, how am I going to run with some shit that I don't know? You know what I'm saying? In order for us to really find out the truth is we'll have to ask the referee that was reffing that fight or the fighter that supposedly gave him the L or go down to Mexico and find somebody that went to that fight and saw that fight live and ask them. But is it really that important? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it really that important? Is it something for me to run with and laugh? No, it don't fucking matter because at the end of the day, Devin, we know what product we have. You know what I'm saying? We know what product we have. At the end of the day, he still beat Lomachenko. He still beat George Kambosos, become undisputed. And he still beat everybody that we've seen him in the ring with. So who cares? You know what I'm saying? Who give you like check this out, right? Do y'all know how many fucking fighters that say that they beat Tank Davis's ass in sparring? It's been more fighters than I could count that came out with stories talking about that they beat Tank ass in sparring. But at the end of the day, who give a fuck? Because every fighter that we seen him in the ring with on fight night is going to sleep. Real talk. So these fighters, man, they've shown that they're very talented. Whatever happened over in Mexico or didn't happen, it's not a big deal to me. You know what I'm talking about? Like real talk, it's not like I don't even like boxing fans is petty. You know what I'm saying? Boxing fans is we gonna take any story that we can find and run with the shit so we can have something to talk about and hee ha ha and laugh and oh man, Bill. But now, am I saying that it didn't happen? I'm not saying it didn't happen. You know what I'm talking about? But it doesn't matter to me because having an L on your record, no matter when it happened, it doesn't determine what fighter you are to me. Like, we need to stop making so fucking much out of a loss. Now, to speak on it, right? Does it sound like something that Bill Haney would do? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? But I can't accuse him of doing that shit. It does sound like some slick shit that Bill would do if it happens. You know what I'm saying? Because Bill is a motherfucking Bill is a slickster. Real talk. Bill a city slicker. So it sounds like some shit that he would do if he ever had to do it. Of course Bill would do some shit like that. Come on, let's all admit that. But I can't accuse that man of doing that. And I'm not going to accuse him of doing it. I'm not finna make no videos and talk about how Devin lost in Mexico. And I'm not. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter at all. Devin is still a hell of a fighter, a great fighter for his age. I believe Devin is still going to show that, you know, he's a hell of a fighter, win, lose, or draw. I think what we do need to take out of this, right, to keep it 100 and to just be real about the situation. As boxing fans, we need to stop teasing these fighters for taking L's or if you think that they got an L and start acting like they some shit. Because if we stop acting like what the fuck we act like when a fighter lose or you think a fighter might have lost, I think we would get much better fights because we just putting too much in wins and losses. Like at some point, yeah, you want to focus on if a motherfucker just losing and then come back and lose again and he's shown that he can't beat top competition, that's when we should start, you know, talking about wins and losses like that. But I just think we put too much in it. And now we got these fighters, a lot of these fighters, they scared to take a L. They scared to take a L. Real talk. Going back to, you know, something that's clear. If we didn't put so much into losses in the sport of boxing, Frank Martin would have fought Shakur Stevenson. Real talk. Frank would have fought Shakur. But because boxing put so much in fighters taking losses, now you get situations like that. But fighters like Frank Martin, they like, nope, I ain't taking no L at this point in time in my career. I'm definitely not finna take no L. Because if I take a loss, everybody gonna talk about it. Everybody gonna say that I was washed, that I'm not. Everybody gonna say that I was overrated and I'm not that type of fighter that everybody thought I was. They gonna shit on me. And now the people that promote me, they're gonna have to promote me accordingly because they know how the fans are thinking. Now they gonna drop my pay scale. So, you know, man, this is why we don't get a lot of these fights because people put too much, boxing fans put too much into losses. But as far as Devin Haney, man, I don't even put enough thought into it to ask myself, is it true or not? I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? I really don't care if he lost in Mexico, if he didn't lose in Mexico. You feel me? I don't care. Like, it doesn't make no difference. What difference does it make? Like, when Lomachenko lost to Salido, right? In his, second professional fight, Lomachenko lost to Salido. Yeah, a lot of boxing fans wanted to be petty and run around and make a big deal out of it. I was one of the ones that never made a big deal out of it because I knew whether he lost to Salido, you know what I'm saying? Yes, he did lose to Salido, but I knew that he was still a great fighter because it was about what he did after he lost to Salido. So that L didn't matter to me. It didn't matter that he lost to Orlando Salido because I knew that that was his second professional fight and that he's a much better fighter than Salido. So it didn't fucking matter to me. Whoever that people saying that Devin Haney lost to, if it happened, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it did happen. If it did happen, I know that Devin Haney is a much better fighter than whoever this mystery dude is. He a much better fighter. So at the end of the day, who gives a fuck? Rolly is trash. Now, we saw Rolly lose to Jackson Marinez on Showtime, right? We saw Rolly lose to Jackson Marinez on Showtime. Lost damn near every round, got his fucking head boxed off. And they gave Rolly that fight. Gave him the fight. We seen Rolly lose to a 60-year-old man, and they gave him the fight. Or was that? Or did they give him a draw? But we done seen Rolly lose, right? We've all got to witness Rolly take a L. So Rolly coming out and saying some shit like this, he should be the last person to talk because he's sorry as fuck. He's sorry as hell. And Devin Haney will beat the dog shit out of him. So at the end of the day, I'm looking at the situation like the one who came out with the news. Can you whoop him? Can you beat Devin Haney? No, you cannot. So shut the fuck up. Why are you even talking if you can't beat him? You know what I'm saying? It's just like going back to, the situation with Shakur Stevenson, right? You had guys like George Kambosos and Frank Martin talking like, oh man, this happened between you and Devin and this and that. Can y'all whoop Shakur? No, you can't. So if you can't whoop him, why are you talking about whatever business that he had going on with somebody else? Because one fighter, both of y'all had a chance to go in there and fight him, and both of y'all turned the fight down. So why are y'all talking about what went on with another man if you can't whoop him and they gave y'all a chance to prove it and y'all turned it down? So that's how I'm looking at Rolly. You can't whoop Devin. So why are you even speaking on the situation? Oh, yeah. You right, Jovan. That's what happened. The referee jumped in and stopped the fight for Rolly because Rolly was getting his ass beat. But that other fight with Jackson Marinez, he lost, and then they gave him the decision when he clearly lost the fight. Thank Father, Regis didn't bring it up. Regis brought it up after Rolly brought it up. Rolly brought it up, and then it became news because everybody was talking about it after Rolly said it. And then Regis, he came and spoke about it. But that's what Regis is supposed to do because he's supposed to talk about Devin Haney and keep that fight in people's mouths any way that he can because he got a fight coming up with Devin. You know what I'm saying? So people mad at Regis because he talking about it. Y'all the ones paying attention to it. Y'all the ones paying attention to it. Regis is supposed to be talking about because he got a fight coming up with Devin. The fans is the one making it a big, huge story, right? The fans are the ones who's making it a big, huge story, running around fucking looking silly and shit. Talking, oh, man, Devin lost over in Mexico. Rolly said it. Now Regis is, come on, man. Regis is promoting the fight. That's what Regis is supposed to be doing. Regis going to do whatever he got to do to sell the fight and to continue to keep people talking about the fight. Duh, that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to do that. But so, man, it's just like, man, I don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I don't really give a fuck what happened with Devin Haney in Mexico. I know that fighters all the time, a lot of fighters, they go over to Mexico to build up their record. You know what I'm saying? To build up their record, and then they eventually come to the U.S. and they already 20-0. But you ain't never seen them fight before. That shit happened a lot. And you know, you had Devin over there in Mexico fighting grown ass men when he was a kid. Who knows? A lot of shit happened in Mexico. Canelo was fighting in Mexico when he was a kid. Y'all don't think he could have took an L over there? He could have. We don't know. So who cares, man? Real talk. Who we don't care about. We shouldn't care about that. We should focus on and care about what product the fighter is giving us now. What type of talent they have now. Who they fighting now. And Devin is doing everything that he's supposed to do and more. You know what I'm saying? He doing everything he's supposed to do and more. I don't like the bullshit that went on with him and Shakur, but other than that, man, Devin is fighting Regis Prograis, and it's funny how nobody is giving Regis a chance. Everybody is acting like, oh man, Devin, man, he gonna beat the shit out of Regis. Okay, keep sleeping on Regis. This is not, I keep telling y'all, this not gonna be an easy fight for Devin Haney. Y'all think Devin just, man, come on, man. Y'all seen other fighters close the distance and give Devin Haney trouble. Now, and like, yeah, Devin Haney beat guys like JoJo Diaz. He clearly beat JoJo. But JoJo, that fight was like an 8-4 fight. So if fighters like JoJo Diaz is able to, you know, close the distance and win some rounds against Devin Haney, what you think Regis is going to be able to do? Regis is a hell of a fighter. Y'all look at a fighter have one bad performance and then go and run with the shit. Regis can fight. Regis is going to give Devin Haney hell. Win, lose, or draw. Now, I haven't picked a winner for the fight yet. I haven't picked a winner, but I believe it's a 50-50 fight. It all depends on how the fight goes. It all depends on what type of shape Regis Prograis is in. Because we know Devin going to be in shape. And it all depends on what product Devin shows us at 140. Can Devin move for 12 rounds at 140 pounds? We don't know that. Like I said, it's a great fight. So, you know, I give props to both fighters for just stepping up and taking the fight. Regis ain't have to fight Devin Haney, and Devin Haney damn sure didn't have to come to 140 pounds in his first fight and fight somebody like Regis Prograis. He damn sure didn't have to do that. So yeah, man, I like it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. But I'm not finna try to solve a puzzle that really don't matter at the end of the day. You know, like I said, it doesn't matter. Somebody being undefeated, having an O on your record really don't mean shit. Unless you fucking got an O on your record and you Floyd Mayweather. You know why it means something if you Floyd Mayweather? Because Floyd Mayweather got a hell of a resume to back it up. A lot of these fighters, they got an O on their record. But then you look at their resume and you see exactly why they got an O on their record. Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis, they still got a long way to go to get anywhere near a Floyd Mayweather status, a O on their record or not. And that's just what it comes down to at the end of the day. But I appreciate everybody tuning in. If you have not hit the like button, make sure that y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all hit the like button for me. Share this video, and I will be back tomorrow. And like I said, man, I appreciate everybody that did get a chance to come in here and watch this live stream. If you didn't get a chance to watch all of it, you know, you could check it on the playback. And y'all already know how I do. Salute to everybody in the building. there you go talking that boxing again. And I'm gone, y'all. We out.